Commission District 3 are Mr. Anthony Donadio and Mr. Tim Zork. And just like the other candidates picked envelopes, these guys have done that too. And I don't know the numbers. So, Mr. Donadio, can you tell me if you're 1 or 2? Number 2. All right, so that must mean Mr. Zork is number 1. All right. So your format is a little bit different, and here's how we're going to do it. We're going to ask you to make an opening statement to introduce yourself to the voters in North County, and we're giving you 5 minutes to do this. In advance, we gave you several topics that are of interest to voters here in North County, and we sent that to you in the letter format. Some of those topics that we mentioned were job creation, foreclosures, property values, the Indian River Lagoon, lifeguards and beach renourishment, impact fees, the gas tax, and the GO line. So if you want to address any of those topics in your opening statement, feel free to do so. When you're through with your opening statement, we're going to also ask you 2 character questions, and you'll have 2 minutes to answer each one of those. And then finally, I don't know if we're doing a closing statement with you. Yes, we are. And finally, we're doing a closing statement. So, Mr. Zork, since you're candidate number 1, are you ready for your 5-minute opening statement?
Yes, I am.
Okay, please proceed.
All right, good evening. Thank you, Teresa, and thank you, Sebastian Chamber, for making tonight possible. I'm Tim Zork. I'm a Republican nominee for County Commission District 3. I was born and raised right here in Indian River County, and I've spent my entire adult life working in this county. I'm married to my wife, Laura. For 9 years, we have 4 children, Brianna 20, Nicholas 8, Abby 7, Chandler 3, and a granddaughter, Ayla, 18 months. Many of you have seen the sign when entering and leaving the city of Sebastian, where it has a little tagline at the bottom about the grumpy old people. Well, it's been rumored that my grandfather was one of the original grumpy people moving to the area in 1947. He denied the accolades, but us as grandchildren sometimes felt he was a worthy candidate of being designated as one of the grumpy old people. I graduated Grove Beach High School in 1979, and I attended Indian River Community College studying business, finance, and economics. I've been a business owner and consultant for 30 years, and I attend Central Assembly of God Church down in Vero Beach. I'm a dedicated volunteer to the community, giving over 10,000 hours of community service to many worthwhile charities and causes. I'm also a hospice house volunteer with my daughter, Abby. In my business background, I've been a home builder and consultant, having built approximately 700 homes in the area, many of them here in the city of Sebastian. For the past 3 years, I've been working as an independent construction consultant dealing with construction defect issues in the southeastern U.S. I'd like to make one statement before I go further for those who are watching at home tonight and are here in the audience. Commissioner Joe Fletcher has been doing an outstanding job representing the North County area here in the city of Sebastian. And I would like to pledge my support, along with Wesley Davis, to make Commissioner Fletcher the next chairman of the Indian River County Commission. He's done an outstanding job. His time is due, and we need to give him the respect and give him the honor of chairmanship here in Indian River County Commission. Last night, for those who may have heard on the radio, the Indian River Tea Party had a forum in Vero Beach, but the city of Sebastian was the primary topic in a lot of the questions. They were comparing City of Vero Beach operations with City of Sebastian, and I think it shows that there's a lot of fiscal responsibility that's been going on here in the City of Sebastian based on them comparing size of budgets and number of employees, comparing Vero Beach to Sebastian. On job creation, I think there's a lot of positive steps we can take and innovations that we can put into place. One of them is the enterprise zone in Vero Beach it's underutilized. Sebastian didn't get any share of the enterprise zone designation due to the unemployment statistics at the time. Currently, Indian River County is ranked 4th in the state as the highest unemployed county, and I'd like to work with the state to see how we could use the boundary amendment provision to bring some of the enterprise zone territory to the city of Sebastian Airport. On the lagoon, being born and raised here in Vero Beach, I've seen dramatic changes and declines in the lagoon, and we need to take some very immediate and positive steps to look at what we can do to improve the quality of the lagoon because it is in a declining condition. On the topic of impact fees, your Vice Mayor Don Wright has done an outstanding job here in Sebastian looking at ways of exploring making impact fees less burdensome to economic development. I was at the commission meeting today and referred back to some of Vice Mayor Wright's information. It can be a very staggering sum for many small businesses to look at. If you're a small business and you're looking at opening up a 1,000 square foot sandwich shop, your impact fee is $22,000 to the county. That's a lot of money to a small business owner. And for many, if you wanted to expand your small business, you have staggering fees to look at. So we have to look at how we can try to balance the needs of the community with the revenue that we need to generate. I'd like to applaud the Sebastian Chamber for recognizing and listing specifically and promoting Retire to Sebastian. The retirement community is probably one of the biggest economic engines that power both Indian River County and the city of Sebastian. Recognizing that on your site shows the importance of our retirees. We need to always be recruiting and promoting Indian River County. It's a great place to live. And I applaud you for your efforts for bringing that out. I want to bring my ideas and innovations to the County Commission. Having been a home builder working with virtually every department that the county has oversight and budget control, I've worked firsthand with many of these departments and was there at many of the first day when many of the current department heads became employees of the county. I know the county, I know how it works, I know where we can improve it and make it more customer friendly, more spending conscious, and for that I ask for your vote, Tim Zork, County Commission, District 3.
Good job. Finishing right on time. We will give you 5 additional minutes at the end to close. So if there's anything else that you want to comment on or anything you think of that you want to respond to, you'll have time to do that. Okay. All right, Mr. Donadio, your 5-minute opening statement.
Thank you. I want to thank you very much for allowing us to be here tonight. We appreciate that opportunity. I'm Tony Donadio, candidate for County Commission District 3. But more than that, I'm a person that deeply is concerned about the citizens of our community and our community in general. And it's a community where I've been able to raise my family and grow a successful business. I'm widowed. I'm the father of 3 boys. My oldest is 26, my middle son is 24, my youngest is 15 in high school. I've had a successful business for over 22 years in Indian River County and lived there for well over 25 years. I don't consider myself a politician. I want to make my extension, my community service, my service to the county. My community service has uniquely prepared me to serve through my business experience, my life experiences, and also as leadership roles throughout the county. And for me, it's not really all about the party. It's about you, the taxpayers of Indian River County and our community. I want to tell you 3 things about Tony Donadio. They're simple, truthful, and from the heart. I'm a dedicated and a passionate person. I listen more than I speak, and I want to make a difference in this community. My first is, these 3 simple traits have guided me through my life, and they'll guide me through the race for County Commissioner District 3. I'm a dedicated and passionate person. That's demonstrated every day of my life as a father, as a professional architect, and a community volunteer. This community has given me the opportunity to raise my family and create a successful business, and for that I'm dedicated to this community. And it's important for me to give back to the community, and I ask for nothing in return, what I've given. But what I've gotten in return from all my community service is leadership skills, vision, accountability, responsibility, and the understanding and monitoring of budgets, a skill that I can bring to the County Commission. Second, I'm a good listener. I think a person that listens, is well informed, an independent thinker, and has the ability to make good things happen. And I learn by listening. The third is I'm in this race to make a difference. Just like you, I'm a father trying to make a better community for my family. And that sentiment has transpired through the people of Indian River County. I love Indian River County, and I want to make it a better place to live. I have a 5-point plan. Promote and create new jobs and expand existing business through economic development. The county and the chamber has a great toolbox that's available to promote new business and to help existing businesses expand through job grants, tax exemption in the enterprise zone. And through these, the county and the chamber has been able to create over the past 2 years over 1,400 jobs. So these are good tools to help promote new businesses in Indian River County. The second item is I want to stabilize and help grow our tax base. That's by bringing more businesses in, and as you know, everything is related to taxes. The third, I want to protect and enhance the Indian River Lagoon. As you know, the lagoon is one of our most important assets. Besides providing recreation, tourism, jobs, research, animal and plant species, it also has a $3.7 billion impact to our community and the communities along the Indian River. We have issues to deal with North County, the north part of the river and the seagrasses, and then the dead zone between Vero Beach and Sebastian. So we need to let the experts deal with these issues as far as Harbor Grange, Orca, and the state agencies, and support these agencies when they come up with the fixes to take care of this. We as a community and a county need to make sure that we continue our best management practice plans. We need to continue to educate the public on those known causes with regards to the nitrogen and phosphorus, stormwater and wastewater runoff. As far as beach renourishment, I think that our beaches are one of our most valuable assets to our community, again, as far as tourism and recreation. We need to find creative ways to help stop the erosion, but it has to be cost effective and it has to work. These solutions need to be based on life cycle and cost appropriate. So we just don't need to solve the problem, we need to fix the problem. As far as impact fees, I think Tim mentioned today, the County Commission directed the staff to lower non-residential impact fees while keeping residential impact fees the same. I think this is a step in the right direction to reevaluate the impact on new commercial construction while growing our tax base. And as far as gas tax, as you know, we currently have a 6 cents gas tax with a maximum of 12 in the community. Thank you.
You'll have a few more minutes at the end. Thank you. Okay. So, as we did with our city council candidates, we have 2 character questions for you, and I'll ask both to each of you in order. So, candidate number 1, Mr. Zork, your first question. Will Rogers once said, "If you injected truth into politics, you have no politics." Do you agree with this comment, and why or why not?
I disagree. During my many years working and being involved in the home building industry, I was brought to Tallahassee, Washington, D.C., and one of the most memorable or more unmemorable events was having the opportunity to work with Senator Harry Reid on a project for 2 years on codifying some rule changes. We worked in good faith, our group with Senator Reid's office, tirelessly for years on trying to bring this to his committee for a vote. Only 5 days before the vote to have him just go, "I don't think I like it anymore, and I'm going to just pull it from the agenda. Thanks for your time." So I think you can, there's sincerity, and I don't know if he was just pulling our chain for the 2 years we worked on the issue, but I think he was just buying time and stalling. So, and I'll close with that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And the second question that you have 2 minutes to answer is, a great deal has been said in the current presidential election concerning governmental transparency. Is governmental transparency good? Why or why not?
Yes, it is very good. I think with the age of the internet and automation, that more government can be visible to more members of the public. I think you have the opportunity tonight where you have not an overflowing crowd in the chambers tonight, but you could have countless people watching at home. You can refer to things and have them pull up agendas. On the county commission side, Dory Roy, the assistant, makes sure that the documents are preloaded ahead of time before a vote or before a commission meeting. All the backup materials there. The day after, you can follow and watch the video. By time link, you can refer back to specific items. It's very much in the open. And I'd like to see if there's other areas. I think when you look at the big picture, you can find things easily. If you wanted to look at how much did the community development spend on new vehicles in the last 2 years, you might have to dig for that for a little bit. It's there, but it's not jumping off the page at you. So maybe having some more of the budgetary items a little bit more easier to find and go through.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Donadio, same questions, 2 minutes each. Will Rogers once said, "If you ever injected truth into politics, you have no politics." Do you agree with this comment? Why or why not?
I don't agree with it. It's all about truth. It's all about representing the people of the community and being straightforward with them. And truth, honesty, integrity is all part of being a person running for office. Again, I don't consider myself a politician, so it's hard for me to say that, but I think it's always important to tell the people of the community the truth and let them know what's going on and how it affects them. How it's going to affect everybody in the community, whether they're retired or single parents or unemployed or business people. So I agree that if you do inject truth, it is important.
Okay, thank you. And then the second question, a great deal has been said in the current presidential election concerning governmental transparency. Is governmental transparency good? Why or why not?
I think it is good. It's important for the people in the community to see what's going on and how the taxpayers' money is being used. I think one good thing that's been implemented in the county recently is the monthly budget reviews, where Jason Brown comes forth and gives a budget review of the county, which had not been done before. And I think that's important so that the people get an overall view of what's happening and where we stand with our budget. And I think it's important too on the departmental side to do that too, because it's important for the taxpayers and staff to see where we are within with the county government. Again, like Tim said, with TV and the internet and the website online with all the information, the transparency is very available, and I think it is important.
Okay, thank you. All right, so this seems like it's flying by compared to the other one, but your format was different tonight. We're not really asking you questions. We kind of gave you more of an opportunity to just come and present statements to us. So each of you is now going to have 5 minutes to close, to go back over any topics that maybe you missed or wanted to talk about, and then of course to speak to the voters who will be casting their votes shortly. So we'll start with you again, Mr. Zork.
All right, thank you. A few of the areas that I didn't address in the opening statement on the Indian River Lagoon, one of the first items that I'd like to put forth is a special call workshop, bringing in the leading experts on the lagoon. We have all the experts in the area, but they seem to be all working somewhat independently of each other. I'd like to bring them all into a room like this size, lock the doors, get some blank sheets of paper and say, okay, what is your thoughts on the lagoon? And spend, if you got to stay there all day, all night, or however long it takes to clearly identify the issues, and then clearly identify the solutions of each of the issues that have been brought up. Without, how do you fix a problem if you don't clearly identify it? I think some of the issues from the lagoon are the fertilizer and the phosphate. Some is going to be stormwater runoff. Some is going to be the stagnant area where the tide goes up and down, but it never moves anywhere. Some of it's going to be boat related. Some of it's going to be waterfront property owners, that what might be happening on their property going into the river. And it may also happen to be what's going on 10 miles west of town that might be contributing into the stormwater runoff that ends up into the river down the road. So we have to look at all the different pieces, and then how do we put the puzzle together, and then how do we fix the puzzle. On beach renourishment, I think if you're promoting tourism and come use our beaches, and it's a great place to be, the tourists need to be able to come here and access and use the beaches. So we need to coming up with a way of identifying long-term solutions to the beach, to where I look at the photograph of the Sebastian Inlet, and I think the majority of our sand, is on the north side of the inlet, because their side of the jetty protrudes about 150 yards further out than the south side. So I think that's where some of our sand is located that needs to go down in the amber sand and running down past the Wabasso Beach area. And then when you get down to South Beach, the beach has been growing. To put a few things in perspective, being born and raised here in Vero Beach, Vero Beach was home to the Los Angeles Dodgers. It was first to have airline service with Eastern Airlines. Florida East Coast Railway provided rail service to Jacksonville and beyond. And in the lagoon, shrimp and fish life was just very abundant. And on a Saturday afternoon treat, you could go to the movies and popcorn and Coke for $1. Those were good times. The future will eventually become our past. What will the future hold for Sebastian and River County, and how will history read as we move forward to 2020? As your commissioner in District 3, I'll bring my experiences as both a lifelong resident and a local business owner to the commission. During my 30 years in business as a home builder and consultant and volunteer, again, I've worked with virtually every county department in some regulatory fashion, paying a fee, and I know how they work, and I can see how we can make the system work better, making it more user-friendly to the residents and the users of these services for the county. As we near the end of this economic stagnation period, we must not forget, as these revenues have declined, as revenues increase back in, we just don't go back on another spending spree. We need to spend our new tax revenue wisely as the economy improves and the tax base improves, and not just go back to how things were in the past. In closing, I want to be a resource to helping local businesses stay in Indian River County. We can't have homegrown businesses move to other areas because the business climate is more favorable. We can't have the Reed Knights and the Sexton Natalie's Juice move to other areas, and there's been steps to keep that from happening again. But we have to make sure if somebody brings and grows a business from scratch here, we need to do whatever we can to keep it here and not have them lured away to an adjoining county. I've done a brief economic competitiveness review of Indian River County, and our toolbox is fairly competitive to other counties. We need to look at what we need to do better in having Indian River County noticed to bring jobs to. Governor Scott is traveling not just the state and the country, but also the world, promoting bring jobs to Florida. We need them to look at our area here along the Treasure Coast, Sebastian and Vero Beach in Indian River County, and as well as Fellsbury. Fellsbury is benefiting from the EB5 Capital Investment Foreign Investor Program. That's bringing in a large amount of capital for their fisheries project out there. And I think we need to look at where we can partner to bring in these resources to make viable economic opportunities a reality. We're not usually given this much time. It is a little bit of an adjustment. I enjoy bringing my family up here to the North County to Sebastian. The kids love the water park. We frequent Captain Harms, some of the great establishments. In your waterfront area is truly one gem on the East Coast that I have not seen replicated anywhere else, and it's an outstanding effort to those here in Sebastian to making that happen, and especially the Chamber's been playing a vital role. Thank you. Vote Tim Zort, November 6th, County Commission District 3. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Donadio?
Thank you. I want to finish off on a 5-point plan. We talked about economic growth and the ability to bring jobs and create jobs. And one thing that's important is a lot of people say the government should support jobs, but until we can get the adjacent counties that get a lot more money than we do it for economic development, we're always going to have competitiveness and provide these types of job abatement or job grants and tax exemptions and things like that. But the important thing I want to do is create more of a private-public partnership. We get $120,000 from Indian River County for economic development, and I think with the Chamber and the county working together, that's not a lot of money, but what they've done to create the jobs, I think they've done a fantastic job. One thing I was co-chair with Jay Hart was we did the Economic Leadership Alliance, where we raised $55,000 to help put that money with the $120,000 that the county raised. So I want to create that private-public partnership. And the one thing nice about it was a commitment, not only 1 year, but multiple years to raise that money. So if we can get the private-public partnership going and raise more money, then we'll be able to offset some of the county money that we don't get and help promote jobs and create more businesses. I talked about stabilizing and growing our tax base in Indian River Lagoon. One other item was I'd like to promote Indian River County Sports Village as a sports destination. There's a lot of opportunity there. And one thing that we've heard in the past that people complained was about the money they spent on the new ball fields that they put in place. Well, what people don't realize is those ball fields are for softball and youth programs, because currently the existing fields are major league fields, so they will not support those types of groups. So this gives the Sports Village the opportunity to bring in families, because with girls softball, which is very strong over the state, and youth programs, families come here, they stay here, they spend money in the shops, and they visit the restaurants. So that's an important aspect of it, in addition to the multi-purpose fields that they've done for soccer and lacrosse. So I'd like to promote that more and hopefully help bring more families here and more sports activities. And last, I want to create a viable economy, to create a community where my children and yours come back, live and work, raise their family, and give back to the community. That's one thing that's hard when kids getting out of school today. There's not the opportunities that there were for us, and they're leaving to go elsewhere, so I want to bring them back. As far as the goal line, just talking briefly about the goal line, that's one of the most efficient and best run transportation systems in the state. If you don't know, it's free to the customers, there's no cost to it. The county pays 25% of the monies for goal line, the other monies comes from state and federal grants. There's actually two lines. There's the GO line, which is the bus transport system, and there's what's called paratransit, or community coach, where they actually go to the homes to help people that are disabled and can't get to doctor's appointments or wherever. So that's another thing that's provided by GO line. But there is a transportation development study that's coming out. That's done every 5 years, and this coming year it'll be done. And GO line is going to be looking at whether the need to extend the lines on the beach, the coverage in South County, additional transfer hubs, looking at regional lines that go to Barefoot Bay and the Interstate College. Also maybe extending the hours so that the workers can be more efficient for them to get to their jobs by using the GO line. So those are some things on the GO line side. On the gas tax, as you know, right now ours is 6 cents, and adjacent counties are 12 cents. But one thing we need to look at, with the more fuel-efficient vehicles coming, we're going to have slimmer gas tax money coming in, so we need to be more creative and look at ways to bring in money. I mean, it costs to build roads and maintain roads, and we're going to have a challenge in doing that. We need to make sure that we do it wisely and in the best interest of the community. Lastly, I'd like to say that, like I said earlier, I'm in this because I want to make a difference in this community. My community service over the past 25 years has prepared me to serve in Eagle River County, and it's helped me, giving me those leadership tools to do that. I think I have the ability to make a difference, to listen to people in the community and find out what they want to hear. I always say it's important to listen to something and think about it. It's more important to listen to that thing, put yourself in their position, and empathize with the people that it affects. And that's why I'm running for County Commission. So I ask for your vote on November 6th. Vote for Tony Donadio, County Commission, District 3. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, so this brings our evening to a close. I want to thank my timekeeper, David Hancock. Great job, sir. I'd also like to thank Beth Mitchell and our LGA committee of the Chamber for writing the questions and organizing this forum. I would also like to recognize all the candidates for your willingness to be a public servant. We know it takes valuable time and resources to pursue this office and to serve if elected, and we are very grateful for your dedication. On behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, I want to thank you for a thoughtful yet well-mannered debate this evening. I guess you guys didn't have that. Maybe that was a little earlier. And finally, since this is the last public forum that will be held prior to Election Day, I want to remind our residents they will elect 2 candidates for the Sebastian City Council and 1 candidate for Commission District Seat 3. And then in conclusion, I would like to offer the following quote from Samuel Adams. Let each citizen remember at the moment he is offering his vote that he is not making a present or a compliment to please an individual, or at least that he not ought to do so, but that he is executing one of the most solemn trusts in human society for which he is accountable to God and his country. And that was in the Boston Gazette, April 16, 1781. So we thank each of you for attending tonight and those who are watching from home, and we challenge you to go out and exercise your solemn trust.